Good morning. Good morning.
That's his last name.
So unfortunate.
Yes?
Are we even gonna be able to do this?
I mean, they're noisy.
They're rowdy.
Maybe we go on that
We can
side.
go outside.
I can't go outside because I can't have the Wi-Fi's. Don't reach.
We could go on.
And if I try to turn off the Wi-Fi's right now, it'll just shut the video off.
We just go in the simulator and hide there.
Aren't they in that way? Don't ask me which way they're
We
in.
can do we can do a low light live. We'll go in the simulator with the lights off. We'll do a low light. A low light live. A low light live.
Low light live?
Low light live.
Okay, well, there. It's just a little further away. It's okay.
Okay, but it's weird now. I don't have my.
And I didn't
stuff.
even have to clear a spot.
Dima, good morning. But now it's gonna be strange because we have
Why?
the ceiling behind us instead of.
Boy.
It's the. I guess we still have the range ball.
It's technically lower, so you don't have to aim it up so high.
That's the problem. Is I have to aim it up and not down. So you have the ceiling, which is exciting. Dima, good morning. Rich, good morning.
You know what that means? We need to decorate our ceiling.
Yes, we need Vinny. You have to do this. You have to paint them
Oh, I thought you
in such a fashion that when we're looking at it this angle, you can see it puts together the range logo.
Actually, I know this.
That's actually kind of cool.
I know the exact picture we need to put up there.
Your picture? This one?
There you go again.
Okay.
I'm going to call that the ominous slurp. I'm sorry.
I was fine until I saw his face.
He always looks at you like, like he's got to tell you something. I'm not wrong.
I do have things to tell him. It's not my fault.
Yo, I don't.
Stop touching
My bad.
glasses.
Oh,
I
my
hired
God.
both of them. I don't know why.
Anyway,
Okay. We ain't gonna talk about that.
No, you don't have to talk about it because you already know you have to clean your glasses.
It's true.
I almost said something to James yesterday. We were in a meeting and he took his glasses off and set them on the desk. And they looked like his kids had been just wiping their snotty noses on him in front of his glasses. It was disturbing.
I never cared so much about my glasses being so like perfectly clean until I started working here, and you would throw microfiber at both of us and clean your glasses. And now I am addicted.
Janet, good freaking morning.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
If I hear
all
that word
shenanigans.
one more time.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
I'm just kidding. Shenanigans is a great word. It's a great word.
Shenanigans of the sham.
What are we talking
Anyway,
about?
welcome to Thursday. Wait, yeah, Thursday. It's a weird Thursday because
We
you're
don't
off
ever
on
go live on
Thursdays.
Thursday.
You're off on Thursdays. I'm not. But I said, you know what? Screw it because I'm not off. You guys need to freaking come in and do some damn work.
What are we doing here today?
We're training,
Jackpot.
Training.
taking classes.
Learning. Love it.
So, and Liz came in and couldn't stop talking. So I just said, you know what? Just remember all those things you just rambled out of your face.
He didn't listen to this.
And I didn't listen at all. I was
It's
doing
okay.
something else.
It'll be
I have no idea what she was talking about. And she was like, I just want to go tell the world. And so here we are, world. We made it.
Hi, Internet.
Hello.
So, what do you want to talk about today?
Okay,
Miss
so,
Elizabeth?
all right.
And it's gone.
All right, here we go. So,
And
we
no,
go.
don't do this.
ready, set, go. Oh, yeah. That's my thinking face.
Damn it, I forgot.
I feel attacked. Speaking of, so I was watching Shorts the other day, and I've also heard this recently in one of the books that I'm listening to. And there's what? What did I say this time?
Hey, nothing. I was just thinking in my brain
No.
when you said I feel attacked. Speaking of which, I was watching Shorts. I just had this vision in my brain of you like going ah and throwing your phone.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was watching the Shorts, and there's this dog, and he's walking up behind this cat, and you know he like sniffs at it, and the cat turns around and bats at it. The dog instantly goes stiff and falls over. And it looks like one of those goats that, like, when you startle them, they just fall over completely straight-legged. And I say this with laughter because it was a funny dog-cat video. But that's the freeze response. And that is a true freeze response. We often hear about the fight, flight, or freeze response in relation to experiencing something that you're fearful of, or something violent, or honestly, you can exhibit the fight, flight, or freeze response in just a meeting, something, or public speaking, or something like that. It's a scary conversation. So
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a life or death thing. It
Yeah.
can just be something that's scary, overstimulating.
absolutely, absolutely. And the psychology world does a lot on this for kids and all kinds of stuff. We're gonna bypass that part of it, but it is deeply ingrained into humans to experience the fight, flight, or freeze response in moments of panic and adrenaline. So this freeze response is so fascinating to me. I couldn't stop watching this video because we often think that the freeze response, like, oh, I absolutely have a freeze response. In fact, I thought that I was this way for a while. Me and my husband went out to one of his friend's birthday parties. It was out in the country. We were shooting guns during the day. Come time to put the guns away so we can go sing happy birthday and sit around the bonfire and drink. So all the guns were put away. One of his friends showed up late, and he was a concealed carrier, and he was also already armed. He had his gun on him, and he was already drunk. So it was a bad day. But after we sang happy birthday, he decided to stand up and say the words, "I'm going to send this party out like none of you have ever seen before." He stood up, he lifted his shirt, he grabbed his gun, he pointed it at the ground and fired 2 rounds into the pavement. Concrete and bullet fragments went everywhere. Everybody around the circle was bleeding, a little bit. Nobody had life-threatening wounds or anything. There was a 2-year-old that got a little slash across her face from it. It was a terrible situation. Luckily, nobody got majorly hurt. But what I saw, this was all recorded, what I saw was my response to this. I remember everything. I saw everything happening. I saw him stand up. I saw him walk over. Like, obviously that's weird. He lifted his shirt. I saw his gun. He grabbed his gun. He pointed it at the ground. And I was frozen. You can see me clear as day, just like this. I didn't even stand up and do anything until after he had put the gun away and said, "Everything's fine." It went into the ground. Everything's fine. And I'm like, that's absolutely my response, is freeze. And I have since learned, after also reading this book about the freeze response, is that the true freeze response is actually experiencing that numbness and the tingling in your arms and your limbs to where you cannot move. It keeps you from moving. Think about like a baby deer or something that a predator approaches it and it like freezes in place. It's a natural response that most animals have to predators, and it's like the T-Rex. If you don't move, it won't see you. I thought that for the longest time, like everything is like just.
But that's true.
I know. So there was a story that I've heard recently in the book about Virginia Tech, and I might not be perfect on the details here, but the main part of it.
Can I stop you? Do you need to go in further on your response, or are you coming back to that? Because
Enlighten me. What do you remind me?
was
what?
your response a freeze?
No, it was a decision-making process, and I thank you because I didn't need to finish that thought. See, you were listening. So that was a decision-making process. That wasn't a freeze. A true freeze is experiencing that rigor type effect, that numbness in the arms and the legs where you cannot move. The decision-making process is what a lot of us would experience in that moment of panic, where you weren't expecting something and
What do I do? Yeah.
what do you do?
And that's something everybody has.
Oh yeah.
You can shorten that if you have pre-planned decisions made that if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. I'm sure it never crossed your mind that during that party, if somebody walks up in the middle of our group of friends and draws a gun and starts sending rounds in the ground, this is what I'm going to do. So in that moment, you were trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, do I grab my kid? Where's my husband? Do I turn around? Do I crouch down? And you didn't have time to even make a decision before the thing was over.
Nope.
And that's a very normal thing to have happen. It's not a freeze, not a true freeze. It's a freeze in the moment, but not like we're talking here, where you physically cannot move.
A similar thing happened in the Virginia Tech shooting many moons ago, and again, forgive some of the details here. I might not be exactly specific, but when the shooter came into the first classroom and took many victims in there was one of them that was still alive. I can't remember if he actually got shot, like a minor wound, or if he had not been shot. But the shooter had left and then came back to that room later, pushed through the barricades or whatever, and then I think that's where he finished himself. But he was looking around at people and still shooting in that room, any survivors. Well, the person that actually lived through this, he was frozen on the ground, and actually he was laying in there, and he was in a position, he said that he could not move his arms or legs or anything. He was literally like frozen. He could not move. Everything was tingling and numb, like your arms went to sleep or something. And he recalls not being able to move even if he wanted to, which saved his life. Luckily, he was in a position to where it looked like he fell that way, and then he was not able to move. And if you can imagine being in a situation where other people are being shot around you and on all the things, like just think of all the jitters you could have, or like just like to be still, like truly be still through something like that would take an immense amount of mental strength. So that freeze response greatly played a role in saving his life. And it's a fascinating story, but that is a freeze response. That's not a decision-making process. That was out of his control, which leads me to the next part of this, is the fight, flight, or freeze response is typically not in your control. But training can give your body something to naturally do when you can't control it. Think about, I use this example a lot, like if you've been driving for a long time and you get on a patch of black ice, you're not able to say, okay, I need to steer left and steer right and give it gas or hit the brakes or whatever it is. You don't get to make those decisions so quickly in the moment. It's literally Jesus take the wheel. Like you're just doing what you know best based off of your history with it, your training. Every day that you go out and drive, you're training to drive your car. And that's exactly the way shooting your gun works too. I was able to see this when I shot competition, and when I was just going and I had a malfunction. I didn't get to think about it. I just cleared the malfunction. I can't tell you how rewarding that was to see that happen without the thought. And that's what training will do, is help you overcome that thinking process and allow you to rely on that training to get you through that when you can't respond the way you want
with
to.
relation to the malfunctions, it was cool when, after one of the malfunctions you had, you mentioned that, like, I didn't care what the problem was, I just did the thing, and I shot my gun and hit the next target. And then later that day, you had another one that you didn't even realize when we were looking back at the video. We're like, holy crap, I don't even remember that happening. It was just click, tap, rack, bang, 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 bang. And that's what training does, is creates those automated responses.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty cool to see.
And, and we're talking about the physical realm of fight, flight, or freeze here, but there's so much more to it than that, because you can also use your understanding of fight, flight, or freeze to, for one, understand your own body language, and to recognize other people's body language as pre-incident indicators. A good way that you can see a very visible fight response, because that would be a pre-incident indicator you'd want to look at with someone. Let's say that you let's say that you cut somebody off and you're now at a stoplight and this person gets out of their car and starts approaching you, or you stole their parking spot, you get out of your car, you start walking up and this person starts walking up to you and they start like clenching their fists and tightening their jaw and jutting at you and things like that. Those are pre-incident indicators that they might swing on you. I'm not saying that those are things like you need to draw your gun or anything, but you need to recognize when people are displaying body language that could be violent for you so you can avoid it, or have the decision made ahead of time on what you're going to do. So, body language is first you ask the question, are they comfortable or uncomfortable? If they're uncomfortable, are they exhibiting a fight, flight, or freeze response? If they're exhibiting fight response, a good way to see some of this stuff is watch MMA fights. Not even the fight, but just the walking up to the octagon as they're introducing the fighter, or maybe as they're, the fighters are looking at each other. They do a lot of posturing to make themselves look big and like they're ready to fight. So it's very exaggerated, but it's a good way to see some of this stuff, and it's so fascinating to me. So this is what I was nerding out. I was working on his rifle. I'm just like, oh my god, I was just running my mouth. So.
Surprised.
Right, surprised. It's like, how many minutes? I haven't stopped talking yet. So,
we know.
So, fist clenching, they pound their chest, like a gorilla or something, and they puff up their chest and they bring their chin down. Whenever the chin gets brought down like that, and that is protecting the neck and vitals and things like that. And then the jaw tightening, you might see people do like, this is less of a fighter thing, but more of just a general thing, but you see like grooming.
You see this a lot.
Oh yeah.
Your nose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's so many of those little displays that you can pick up on that are huge, absolutely huge. And then you look at someone like Conor McGregor. He definitely exhibits fight displays, but he's much more in control of his own body language, like to the extent that he exhibits pride and he opens up his chest and he brings up his chin. He's like, what? I'm not afraid of you. Look at my vulnerable areas, the soft part of my body, my neck. We always try to protect this whenever we're really getting ready for a fight. Like, we don't want to expose our neck or our vitals or our soft parts of our body. We're the only animal that leaves this open. So usually when you see people start to shrink and just look like, I shrug my shoulders and I bring my chin down. That's to protect those vital areas. Someone like Conor McGregor has overcome that, and he's just like, I'm not afraid of you. That posturing is such a big deal for intimidating the other side. There was a couple weeks ago, I was walking my dog. I was going down the street. There's this car that rounded the corner.
Dang, people in there shooting.
Freaking noisy.
As he was rounding the corner, he made eye contact with me and started driving on the other side of the road, because I was on the left side, he was coming down the right side, so he started driving towards me. And maybe he didn't see me, maybe he saw me, he was looking at me, but maybe he wasn't paying attention to where he was driving. He was probably looking at my gorgeous German Shepherd, but he was driving towards me. All I did was puff up my chest, look him right in the eyes, and he immediately turned back to where he was going. All that did was say, I see you, I'm not afraid of you. You can use your own body language to exhibit confidence to where you can stave off somebody that might perceive you as a victim. So body language is extremely important, and when you can recognize these pre-incident indicators, whether it's the fight response is the one you got to be worried about, but there's also the uncomfortableness of, I guess this would probably be more of a freeze response, or I think in general, when you experience adrenaline, like a lot of people say that you should be worried about the bright red faces, like they're angry. No, it's not the red faces you got to be worried about. It's the stark white faces you should be worried about. When they go stark white, that's when adrenaline brings all the blood to the center of your body. That's when you're gearing up to fight. So or flee or something like that. So those are things to look for. I am just over the top fascinated with this concept. Violence is such an interesting thing to me. I'm terrible at making quick decisions. You know, and the more that I understand it, the better I will be able to overcome it. And that's my goal. So I think I covered everything. But let me look at my notes while you guys chime in a
Oh,
little
the
bit.
more important thing. You feel better now?
Yes.
Feel relieved.
Yes.
Feel better that out.
So much better. Okay. But I did take some notes. Let me just double check here. Yeah. Okay, that's it. I got it.
Boom.
Nailed
Done.
it. Nailed it. I feel like we were just here for just nice to look at.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly it.
sure.
You're welcome.
That's why you guys tuned in.
Well, they needed something to look at while I was running my mouth, and they didn't have anything to pay attention to.
Matches.
What? Oh, he wants you to make a heart.
Here it is. We gotta look through it. That's what we're here for. She talking, we just stand here.
I guess
Thanks, guys.
that's all we got today.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. Let's see, this month, deals. We have, buy any firearm, get 100 rounds of ammo for that firearm. You can't buy a 22 and get 100 rounds of 357 Magnum or something. It's range ammo, yada, yada, yada. Same applies for classes. You buy a class, this is all in store, right? So you gotta buy a class in store, or you buy a gun in store, no online purchases. But if you buy a class in the store, you get 100 rounds of ammo. If you're taking a carbine class, you get 100 rounds of ammo of 5.56. Or
That's
if you're
cool.
taking a pistol class, you get 100 rounds of 9mm. Again, you're not taking a carbine 1 with a 50 BMG. We know this, okay? So that's going on all month.
What if?
What if?
No,
I have
we'd
had a
have to
couple
clear
of
out the
guys
store.
do it with a 308, which is just
Man.
crazy.
Wow.
But class, buy a gun, 100 rounds of ammo. I guess that's what we got right now.
Yeah, training ammo, not defensive ammo.
Yes,
No
yeah,
hollow
it's
points.
all range ammo, no hollow points, nothing like that, nothing crazy. We got some cool rain shirts over there for sale. We got some cool Lady Sentinel shirts over there for sale. We still have some Hawaiian shirts over there. So it's getting nice and warm outside, so you might as well get a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Sure.
It'll take you to your happy place whenever it gets cold.
Yes. 1403 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. If you need something, come see us 10 to 8, Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. You guys have a super awesome day. Stay safe, be nice to one another. We'll catch you soon.